Hi everyone. Good evening to you all. On 22nd of this month, December, I had my SIDBI examination, which is yesterday. So, sharing my experience when it comes to SIDBI. So SIDBI, as you all know, is a very good opportunity, and especially for someone like me coming from an MBA background, it is a very prestigious examination. It's also a very quasi-regulatory body, so there's a lot of work because MSME it contributes to almost 40% of our GDP, so it is an engine of growth, and working with SIDBI gives us an opportunity to contribute to our economic development, and it is a huge opportunity. So I had given a lot of emphasis on the examination, but then again an issue came where because the second level is happening on January 19th. It is close to my civil service interview as well as it is on the day of my sister's wedding. So I will not be able to write the examination if I manage to get through. So my preparation was also accordingly only because I gave most of my attention to UIIC because it has a direct interview and not a second level examination per se. But still, after writing UIIC on the 21st, almost 21st evening, almost completely around 4 or 5 hours, as well as, my examination was on the second shift. So 22nd morning, almost completely, I devoted to SIDBI as well as, all the financial knowledge that I gained for my ICSE interview. That also came to me of help when it comes to SIDBI. Now, sharing how the examination went during the time of the examination. So, I'm sorry about that. So as you all know, it has a qualifying section comprising of the reasoning paper, maths paper, English paper, and the computer awareness. So reasoning for me was okay. Math also was okay. So here I managed to do around 60% of the question, math also 60% of the question, English almost completely, and computer awareness also completely. So again, the my strategy here was to go for around 60% to 70% correct because it is only of qualifying nature and give most of my time to general awareness, financial knowledge, general awareness, financial knowledge, and MSME because this is the merit section and this has the maximum weightage. So the selection will be only based on these three sections. So I spend like very minimal time on reasoning, math, and English just to get the qualifying marks correct, and then came to the general awareness section. Now coming to my experience when it comes to general awareness, almost everything was asked from in, October to December current affairs. In my opinion, there were questions on Madhav Gadgil, then there was a question on housing price index. Then there was a question on RBI's decision to cut the rate, etc. Then there were questions were like on the 104th member of the ISA. So there are questions like this. All these are very recent current affairs. So if you look at the past 3 months current affair, you'll be very well able to make it properly. So, but for me, like it was trickier when compared to UIIC. UIIC for me was again not easy per se, but it was easier than I expected. But compared to that, SIDBI was more on the trickier side for me. So my experience was also average. So I'm expecting around, out of 20, maybe around 8 to 10 marks maximum. But I'm happy with that because I know that this is the marks which I've been scoring in my mocks and almost the same. But I'm expecting maybe 1 or 2 marks more increase because questions are all like doable. Like nothing was take completely out of the blue, something like that. So experience was very average when it comes to GA. Now coming to financial knowledge, so most of the things that I studied for in my interview at ICSA, this came to help me when it comes to financial knowledge, like when do you classify as SMA1 accounts, those kind of questions, and then about letter of credit, then various factoring tools, then basic financial knowledge. A lot of questions came, so these were okay on the okay side for me. So my strategy was to go through these questions maximum time. So I went, I skimmed through these questions almost 4 or 5 times, and with like in the first round I gave maybe 15 out of 50 questions. In second round I managed to give seven more. In third round I gave like almost five or six more. In fourth round I gave maybe five or six more. So like that, almost 44 to 47 questions I managed to do. So these were all, must know topics when it comes to financial knowledge. And it was the paper was on the standard level. So this was okay for me, like not very high per se because I had only invested proportionately because I know that very high there's a very high chance that even if I qualify, I'll not be able to write because I have my family. situations also happening. So my investment was that only. But compared to that, financial section for me was okay and on the easier side. So I'm happy with the way I did it also. And especially I had purchased the course also. Most of the things that came were straight away picked up from that. So again, I'm happy with the way I did it. And when it comes to MSME was also, I had purchased the course. So my strategy was day before exam, that is on 21st night and 22nd morning. I took the PDF of that and I gave like maximum mocks. So whatever practice questions and quizzes that were after the chapters. So for example, there were chapters on schemes for MSME like, Surti, Khadi Village Industry, Khadi Gramodaya, then RAMP program, then the MSME Champions portal, the Lean program, MSME Innovation, all these are part of Champions. Then MSME Samadhan, the procurement policy for public sector enterprises, then Aspire program. So there are a lot of schemes. So all the questions were directly picked up from provisions of the scheme only, and this was actually completely given in the material. So only because those 2 days I sat and solved all these questions, it actually came and benefited me in the actual examination. Because if I had not taken that course, I would never have done it. So everything was asked word to word from the schemes and things like that. And because I managed to do all these quizzes before actually going for the examination, it came and helped me there. Then another question where there were a lot of questions were the MSME Act. That is 2006 we had a MSME Act. So exact provisions for the act, how these things are, etc. So word by word, it was asked, in how many days you have to resolve the complaint, how many days you can file the complaint, then what is the deposit you have to make, then how many members are there in the, MSME facilitation council that is being established, and then which year it was enacted, and those kind of questions came. So everything was directly from the act. Then there were also questions from the ministry report, like how many MSME. I'm not remembering everything properly. Then TREDS platform, like who is behind RXIL platform. Then RBI circulars also were asked. I don't remember if it is in MSME or it is in the general awareness section, because general awareness section there was a question on the new limits for agricultural loan without collateral. So RBI circular also it was asked, because how many still how many there is collateral, those kind of things. Then about the classification of MSME, like how will you classify micro, the turnover limits and the inventory limits. So all these things, I mean sorry, not inventory per se, sorry, the investment in plant and machinery. So all these limits were asked. Then questions regarding CGT, MSE, as the credit guarantee trust were asked. Then on schemes, about the schemes of the ministry. So these are given in the report, because the Prime Minister's Employment Guarantee Program is a scheme run by the Ministry of MSME. So all these were given in the report, and the course that I took, they had a sample, they had around 54 questions that were directly taken from the ministry report. So many of these actually came from that also. So all in all, like my examination went fine, like at least more than what I expected, because I prepared from the course, took all these quizzes and went. It actually helped me a lot when it comes to the actual examination. Otherwise, I would have been completely blank there. Like I would have done zero, because all these are like questions where you don't have to apply much logic per se. But if you go there prepared, like after having done all these quizzes, all these are like cakewalk for you. So I'm not saying like I managed to remember everything and gave a very good attempt or anything, because I also have my limitation, because the more revision you do, more it will remain fresh in your memory, because I have not done any revision or anything. I just given a read at the PDF and then immediately went and did all the quizzes. So this is my only preparation, and based on that I am happy, because like many questions that I saw in the quizzes. For example, in PM employment guarantee program, there are limits when it comes to manufacturing, there are limits when it comes to the service sector, etc. So these were asked word by word, and additional capacity added, that also limits are there. So that was also asked. Then about the various mudra loans, that was also asked. So all these things were things that I had seen. Again, see, I am not saying that I am very intelligent or anything, because I got these things correctly. Just because of luck, I managed to purchase that course. because I did not want to take a chance because I'm running out of options, so I did not want to take a chance or anything. So I went ahead and purchased that course. So I'm employed also, like I have a part-time job. So with that investment, I have some savings also. So that I invested in the course. Again, and then like some bit of awareness I had, because see, it is after all conducted by the SIDBI and Ministry of MSME. So all the questions have to be from something that the ministry is doing and something that SIDBI is doing, and all the questions have to be related to MSME. So again, all the schemes related to MSME and all the things related to MSME, you have to understand and learn. So this much I know. So before going, I know which all sections are the important part, and that I studied word by word. So since I could not recollect word by word, if you do quizzes, it will be easier for you to remember. So that was my strategy. I understood that these areas questions will come. Since I could not remember, I did maximum quizzes and practiced that. And luckily for me, it came. I'm not saying I'm very intelligent or anything. Just because of luck, because I knew what to study, and fortunately the same thing came. Examination went okay for me. And again, I don't think like I am having enough things to qualify or anything, but at least I'm happy with my effort, because I did not completely blunder or like sit simply, because I was the examination was 2 hours, and the 2 hours I was fighting, and I was tackling these questions sensibly. For example, I knew that so there is some cluster development program that is happening. Then how many sub schemes are under this MSME innovation program under champions. So all these things, I was familiar. So yeah, I think that is the correct term, because whatever questions came, I was familiar with it. It doesn't mean that my answers are correct or not, but when I saw the question, I had that sense of familiarity. And I am a civil service aspirant, so I am not expected to know everything word by word, but at least be a jack of all trades, have some awareness about everything that is happening around you, and that is something that I felt happy with while giving the examination, because since I had prepared, I knew that I have fair bit of knowledge on what is happening around. So if I had given maybe one or two more revisions, I am like anybody could have actually given 100 out of 100, and they could have come like gotten full correct in that examination. For this is what I feel, because there's like very little to actually apply your mind or anything. Everything is like your awareness only is being checked there. So the more revisions you do, more it will be easier for you. And since I was concentrating more on UIIC, I gave my full priority to UIIC, and only after that I started preparation. And I think that is all, like how the examination went, because like full credit goes to coaching that material only, because everything was word by word given there, and questions were asked from that only. So thank you for listening to me, and thanks for that coaching also. Again, I'm emphasizing, I'm not very intelligent or anything, just luck and some a bit of you know what do you say? It's not some bit of like in somewhere my calculations and my predictions went right. So again, fully luck only, like not my talent or anything. Because questions were word by word asked from the material, and I think any coaching you can refer to. I think I saw some post on some institutes channel, like many institutes channel, because they are saying that everything came from their material only, because it is normal, because if it is conducted by Ministry of MSME and SIDBI, then they have to ask from Ministry of MSME website and their schemes. It is like common sense. So those things fortunately went right for me. Again, I'm not saying my answers are right or anything, but I had like when I saw the question, I knew that oh, this I have seen somewhere. I'm familiar with this. So and for MSME is something that is very close to my heart also, because I am a management student, I am a business student. So running enterprises and running businesses efficiently is something that is close to me. So, and when things like MSME, which are supposed to be our engines of growth, if they are not going properly, it can contribute badly to the economy. And I feel like if I am in some position, I can do my best and bring these engines back and keep them firing again. So that is something like that interests me as a management student, and for that reason, I went ahead and appeared for this examination. And this is my experience when I wrote actually the first level of this examination. So that is all from my side for today. Thank you for listening to me. And sorry, I could not be up. I was not able to update you because I was busy with these two examinations. And today, since I had given a lot of efforts for these two examinations, I thought I deserved a break. So That's why I'm recording this late also because tomorrow I will be starting my preparation again. So this is all regarding my experience with SIDBI. Thank you for patiently listening to me and good night.